Another tool I was introduced to during EDU 5313 was PictoChart. PictoChart is a website that lets users create different types of posters. The posters can be printed or downloaded and put into presentations. The PictoChart on the left is one I created for an assignment. The objective of the assignment was to show how we value our students through a PictoChart. I enjoyed this assignment because it helped me understand how to use PictoChart so that I could explain it to my students. After my assignment, I had to come up with ideas for how to use it in my classroom. I came up with an idea to have students create an About Me poster on PictoChart, like the one here in the middle. This student could write things that she liked, things she didn't like, hobbies, and other things like that. Another idea I had was to have students create PictoCharts for letters of the alphabet. The students would have to be able to spell the words or look them up in the dictionary. Then they would have to find a corresponding picture. I feel it is a huge accomplishment that I am able to help my students use technology while working on foundational reading skills. Next, I want to discuss what I learned while taking EDU 5322, Issues and Ethics with Technology. During this course, we became more familiar with aligning lessons with NET standards, but the focus was on how to educate students in being ethical and safe while using technology. I learned about a great website for students and teachers called netsmartskids.org. This website offers lesson plans over any issue that could arise using technology, such as cyberbullying, basic internet safety, online privacy, and much more. The areas I tend to focus on with my first grade students are cyberbullying and basic internet safety. Since my school does not have a computer science program, I co-teach monthly lessons with our school counselor to ensure our students understand how to be safe and responsible online. We were also asked to develop a student technology contract. Since using this contract, my students have become more responsible while using iPads and computers. Another great tool I learned about in this course is Canva.com. Canva allows you to create posters, presentations, and flyers that can be shared online or downloaded. For my final project, the objective was for my students to create a Canva poster and a video explanation of a particular character trait. I teach weekly character lessons to my students, so they are very familiar with the characteristics of each character trait. The difficult part about this project was having them search for the pictures that represented each trait. We discussed copyright laws and the fact that you could not take someone else's photo or video without giving them credit. Since I was monitoring 20 first graders, I decided that they could only get their pictures from a website called picsforlearning.com. My instructor is the one who showed me this free website. It lets you use its copyright-friendly photos for projects. In order for the students to efficiently search for pictures, they had to use correct spelling. This involved writing a rough draft of their picture searches and then editing them with me. Also, for the video, the students told me what they wanted to say, but they had to write the explanation themselves. Then they had an editing session with me so that it was correctly spelled for them to practice from. When it came time to film, they had worked on writing, reading, listening, and speaking skills.
Next lesson means you follow the rules. Being a good citizen means you pick up trash and keep the earth clean and recycling. Being a good citizen means you return stuff after you're borrowing them, like your library books.
After I learned how to use Canva, I was able to facilitate the learning of my students so that they could be innovative thinkers and creators. Another takeaway I gained from EDU 5322 was how to create a voice thread. Having my first graders create a voice thread during this time was not possible. We had been completing tons of other projects, so I am choosing to show how I implement voice threads into my instruction. Hello class, I hope you are enjoying the day with your substitute teacher. You should have just finished reading Big Snow by Jonathan Bean. Miss Self is going to ask you some questions about the story. I will give you time to do turn and talk with your partner in between each question. Please give the students about 1 minute to answer each question. That should give each student about 30 seconds to talk to their partner. You can pause in between each slide if you need to. All right, students, the first question is, who are the main characters in our story? This is your think time. I hope you and your partner answered Mom, David, and Dad. My next question is, what is the setting of the story, or where does it take place? This is your think time. I am not going to play the whole voice thread because it kind of continues with the same pattern. I ask a question, I give them think time, and then I show them the answer. So you can choose to go back and watch the full version in the PowerPoint if you would like to. But utilizing VoiceThread in this manner gives me the opportunity to closely monitor my students and have time to take notes on struggling students. The reason it gives me better opportunities for monitoring is because I have the main points of the lesson already recorded. I can also replay sections or explain the question in a different way in person if it is necessary. Even though this method of technology integration is at the learner level of the NET standards for teachers, it can be a refreshing way for students to be questioned after a read aloud. EDU 5325 Google Tools for Educators was a great course because it made me explore parts of Google I didn't think would work for my first grade students. I really enjoyed being able to use Google Forms as student quizzes. The first quiz I'm going to show you is one I created over digraphs. The part I thought that would be difficult for my students was having to type in their email address. After some practice, this became easier for them. Some of the features I like about Google Form quizzes is that you can add pictures in the question area, like this one with the sheep. You can also add pictures in the answer option area, like the last question here. Another great feature is that you can add video to any part of the quiz. The last question asks the students to first listen to the video about the digraph pH and then choose the picture that corresponded with the video. So for this question, hopefully the students would choose the phone as the answer. Next, I want to show you another assessment I created over missing addends. This assessment does not have multiple choice. Instead, it has open response questions. The students must type in the answer underneath the question. If I wanted to, I could make it so that they would get the answer wrong if they only typed in the number 2 for this first question here. something plus 2 equals 4. To get the correct answer, I could make it so they would have to write the entire expression, 2 plus 2 equals 4. That is an option. You don't have to do it that way. It just depends on what you're wanting from your students. Another focus area of EDU 5325 was collaborating with other educators. My instructor urged us to collaborate with our classmates and other teachers through blogs. I was taught how to create my own blog on blogger.com. When viewing your blog, you can post sections of your posts on social media sites like Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Pinterest. When you do this, you can connect with more people to collaborate with on those other websites. The final project for EDU 5325 was to create a classroom Google site. The purpose of the website is so students, parents, and colleagues can have access to resources used in my classroom. I chose to add many links to my site. One of the links I added was to my classroom management tool, Class Dojo. The reason for adding this is so that parents can stay updated on their child's behavior and the student portfolio. I also included Google Forms for upcoming school events, as well as sight words and spelling lists, just in case someone loses the ones I sent home. Lastly, I provided links to educational websites that the students can access at home. I have received great feedback from my parents because of sharing this website, and they have thanked me for providing this as a resource.